They taught me that faith could survive anything. I believed them. I believed my wife too. But on our 5th wedding anniversary, the woman I loved looked me in the eyes, in front of a room full of strangers, and claimed she had never seen me before. What followed wasn't just betrayal, it was a web of lies, blackmail, hidden secrets, and a painful test that shattered everything I thought I knew about love, trust, and God. Stay with me because this story changed my life forever, and it might change yours too. My name is Ethan Carter, and until that evening, I believed I had a good marriage. I stood outside the Grand Crescent Hotel holding a small velvet box. Inside was a necklace. Not expensive, not flashy. Just something Sophia once pointed at in a store window and quietly said, "If we ever make it, I'd love something like that." 5 years of marriage. 5 years of sacrifice. 5 years of believing we were building the same dream. I smiled and walked into the charity gala. The ballroom was packed with wealthy guests. Sophia hated crowds when we first met. Now she seemed completely at home among them. I spotted her near the stage. My heart immediately felt lighter. "There she is," I whispered. I walked toward her. "Sophia." She turned. For a second I expected a smile. Instead, her expression froze. "Sophia?" I said again. The people around her looked at me. I laughed nervously. "Come on. You look like you've seen a ghost." Her eyes narrowed. "I'm sorry," she said coldly. "Do I know you?" I blinked. "What?" I asked if I know you. The room suddenly felt quieter. "Sophia, what are you doing?" She folded her arms. "Security." I stared at her. "Stop joking." "I'm not joking." A tall man stepped beside her. I recognized him from business magazines. Marcus Hale. Rich. Powerful. Sophia's business partner. Marcus looked at me. "Is there a problem here?" I pointed at Sophia. "She's my wife." Several people gasped. Marcus raised an eyebrow. "Your wife?" "Yes." Sophia shook her head. "I've never seen this man before." My stomach dropped. "Sophia, stop. I don't know you." "Enough. I don't know you." The words hit harder each time. I pulled out my phone. "Look." I opened our wedding photos. Our wedding. Sophia barely glanced at the screen. "This is harassment." Harassment. The word felt unreal. Marcus stepped forward. "You need to leave." "I'm talking to my wife." Sophia looked directly into my eyes. "I am not your wife." The crowd began whispering. I heard laughter. Someone took out a phone. Someone else started recording. My face burned. "Sophia, please." For the first time I sounded desperate. She looked away. "Remove him." 2 security guards grabbed my arms. "Wait." "Ethan," I said. "My name is Ethan." Nobody cared. I struggled. "Sophia." She never looked back. The guards dragged me across the ballroom. People moved aside. Some laughed. Some stared. Nobody helped. Outside, one guard released me. "Don't come back." The doors closed. I stood alone on the sidewalk. The necklace box was still in my hand. I opened it. Then I threw it into a trash can. My hands shook. What just happened? I called Sophia. No answer. Again. Nothing. Again. Straight to voicemail. Hours later, I sat alone in my apartment. The silence felt unbearable. I kept replaying the scene. Her eyes. Her voice. The way she said she had never seen me before. I walked to the window. Years ago, during the hardest period of my life, I had fallen to my knees and prayed. God, I had said, if I keep my faith through every trial, give me a life worth fighting for. It felt like a bet. A strange promise between me and heaven. For years I believed I was winning. I worked hard. I loved faithfully. I trusted completely. Now everything felt broken. Maybe faith wasn't enough. Maybe I was losing. My phone suddenly vibrated. I frowned. Unknown number. One message. One photograph. I opened it. My blood turned cold. The picture showed Sophia and Marcus entering a luxury hotel together. The timestamp was from the previous night. Beneath the image was a single sentence. You don't know your wife as well as you think. I stared at the photograph until my hands started shaking. Sophia and Marcus were walking into a luxury hotel together. The timestamp showed the previous night. The night before our anniversary. The night before she looked me in the eyes and claimed she didn't know me. I immediately called her. Voicemail. Again. Voicemail. Again. Blocked. Unbelievable, I muttered. The next morning I called my best friend. Daniel, I need to see you. You sound terrible. I am. 30 minutes later, we sat across from each other in a coffee shop. Daniel studied the photo. Maybe this isn't what it looks like. I laughed bitterly. Really? I'm serious. She pretended not to know me. I know. She blocked my number. I know. And now this. Daniel sighed. I'm just saying there might be another explanation. I wanted to believe him. I truly did. But every piece of evidence seemed to push me toward the same conclusion. Something was terribly wrong. For the next few days I started digging. I called old friends. I searched public records. I checked business reports connected to Sophia's company. The deeper I looked, the worse everything became. One former colleague answered immediately. Ethan? Yeah. Wow. What? I thought you already knew. My chest tightened. Knew what? About Sophia. Tell me. There was a long pause. She attends elite business events all the time. So? She introduces herself as single. The room seemed to spin. Single? I'm sorry. I ended the call. An hour later, I found photographs online. Charity dinners. Corporate parties. Private fundraisers. In every picture, Sophia stood beside Marcus. Smiling. Elegant. Confident. Alone. No husband. No wedding ring. No sign that I existed. That night, Daniel came over. You look exhausted. I found more pictures. I handed him my laptop. His expression darkened. Okay. This is bad. Finally. But it still doesn't explain everything. What else is there to explain? Daniel leaned forward. Have you actually heard her side? I opened my mouth, then stopped. The truth was painful. No, I hadn't. Because Sophia refused to speak to me. 3 days later, I received an unexpected phone call. Mr. Carter? Who's this? My name is Olivia Reed. I frowned. I don't know you. I used to work for Sophia. My pulse quickened. Why are you calling? Because someone needs to tell you the truth. We met that evening in a quiet diner. Olivia looked nervous. She kept checking the windows. Are you okay? I asked. No. What do you know? She lowered her voice. Marcus Hale is dangerous. I stared at her. Dangerous how? He controls people. That's not an answer. It's the truth. I leaned closer. What does that have to do with Sophia? Olivia hesitated. Then she spoke. I watched him manipulate her for months. My heart pounded. Manipulate. Every decision. Every event. Every appearance. Why would she allow that? I don't know. Is she having an affair with him? Olivia looked away. I never saw proof. The answer surprised me. Then what's happening? I think she's trapped. The word lingered between us. Trapped. By what? I don't know. You expect me to believe that? I'm telling you what I saw. I sat in silence. Part of me wanted to dismiss everything. Another part desperately wanted it to be true. Maybe Sophia wasn't betraying me. Maybe she needed help. That possibility refused to leave my mind. The next evening I finally found her. She was leaving a private event downtown. Sophia. She froze. For a moment, neither of us moved. Then she whispered, Ethan. I stepped closer. No more running. She looked exhausted. What do you want? The truth. You should leave. I'm not leaving. Her eyes filled with emotion. Please. What is Marcus hiding? Her face lost all color. What? Why are you pretending you're single? She stared at me. I could see fear. Real fear. Sophia talked to me. Her voice trembled. You don't understand. Then help me understand. She looked over her shoulder as if someone might be watching. Then she stepped closer. Her next words shattered what remained of my world. You were never supposed to find out. You were never supposed to find out. Those words haunted me for days. Before I could ask another question, Sophia stepped back. Sophia, wait. I can't. What are you hiding? She shook her head. I said too much already. Then tell me the rest. I can't. Her eyes filled with tears. Then she walked away. I stood there frozen. Every answer seemed to create 10 new questions. The next morning, I woke up hoping she had called. Nothing. No messages. No explanation. Just silence. I spent hours staring at old photographs. Wedding pictures. Vacation pictures. Ordinary moments that suddenly felt fake. I found myself remembering my mother, Grace Carter. Whenever life became difficult, she always said the same thing. Faith isn't proven during good times, Ethan. I could almost hear her voice. It's proven when life breaks your heart. At the time, I never fully understood her. Now I wondered if she had been preparing me for this moment. That evening, I opened an old storage box in my closet. Inside were photographs, birthday cards, and letters. One envelope immediately caught my attention. My mother's handwriting. My hands trembled as I opened it. The letter was short. Ethan, if you're reading this, life has probably become harder than you expected. I swallowed hard. You may feel betrayed. You may feel abandoned. Trust God even when you cannot understand the storm. I read the next line 3 times. Not every loss is a punishment. Sometimes it is preparation. I lowered the letter. Preparation for what? Losing my wife? Losing my faith? Losing myself? For the first time I wasn't sure. The following week became a nightmare. One client canceled a contract. Then another. Then another. At first I thought it was coincidence. Then Daniel called. Ethan, have you seen this? Seen what? Check your email. Seconds later, I opened the link he sent. My stomach dropped. An online article featured my photograph. The headline read, Local business owner accused of harassing successful entrepreneur. I knew exactly who they meant. Sophia. What is this? I asked. Daniel sighed. I think Marcus is behind it. I kept reading. The article painted me as an obsessed husband who couldn't accept rejection. Made me sound unstable. Dangerous. Pathetic. This is insane. I know. People will believe this. They already are. Over the next few days the damage spread. Clients stopped returning calls. Business partners became distant. One investor spoke to me directly. Ethan, maybe you should focus on your personal issues before discussing new projects. My personal issues? I'm sorry. The call ended. Another opportunity vanished. That night, I drove to a small church on the edge of town. Pastor Raymond Ellis had known my family for years. He greeted me warmly. Ethan. I'm not okay. I can see that. We sat quietly. Finally, I asked the question that had been growing inside me. Did God abandon me? Pastor Raymond looked thoughtful. What makes you ask that? Everything is falling apart. Sometimes life falls apart before it comes together. That's easy to say. No, he replied gently. It's difficult to live. I stared at the floor. I made a promise years ago. The bet. I looked up. You remember? Your mother told me. I laughed bitterly. I think I'm losing. Pastor Raymond shook his head. Maybe you misunderstood what winning looks like. Before I could respond, someone knocked on my apartment door later that evening. I opened it. A man in a suit stood there holding a folder. Mr. Ethan Carter? Yes. I'm sorry to disturb you. My chest tightened. What is this? The lawyer handed me the documents. I saw Sophia's signature immediately. Then I saw the title. Petition for divorce. My entire world stopped moving. I stared at the divorce papers for nearly an hour. Sophia's signature sat at the bottom of the page like a final goodbye. Daniel arrived shortly afterward. You look terrible. I got served. His face fell. The divorce papers? I nodded. For a moment neither of us spoke. Then Daniel sighed. Maybe it's time to accept reality. The words hurt more than I expected. You think she's gone? I think she's made her choice. I looked away. Part of me hated hearing it. Another part feared he was right. The next few weeks were brutal. Contracts disappeared. Investors withdrew support. Business calls stopped coming. One longtime client finally spoke honestly. Ethan, Marcus Hale advised us to avoid working with you. I clenched my jaw. Because of those articles? We don't want controversy. The call ended. Another loss. Another door closed. By the end of the month, my company was barely surviving. Then something even worse happened. While reviewing public filings, I found documents connected to Sophia's business. I read them twice, then a third time. My heart sank. Large company assets had been transferred to Marcus. Millions of dollars. Control rights. Property interests. Everything. I immediately called Daniel. This can't be real. What happened? She transferred major assets to him. There was silence. Finally Daniel spoke. Ethan. No. I cut him off. No excuses. What if there's more to the story? How much more can there be? I threw the papers onto my desk. She erased me. Daniel didn't answer. Neither of us had anything left to say. That night I sat alone with the divorce documents. A pen rested beside them. Just one signature. One signature and everything would be over. I picked up the pen. My hand hovered above the page. Then my phone rang. Olivia. I answered immediately. What is it? I found something. My pulse quickened. What kind of something? Evidence. I stood up. Explain. Not over the phone. An hour later we met at a quiet diner. Olivia slid a folder across the table. I opened it carefully. Inside were emails, financial records, and private notes. What am I looking at? Marcus. I continued reading. The documents showed unusual transactions and secret payments. This doesn't prove anything. Keep reading. Halfway through the file I froze. A name appeared repeatedly. Eleanor Price. Who's Eleanor? Marcus's former associate. Former? Olivia nodded. She quit 6 months ago. Why? Because she got scared. The answer sent a chill through me. Scared of what? Marcus. I leaned forward. Olivia stopped speaking in riddles. She lowered her voice. Eleanor believes Marcus has been blackmailing someone. My heart skipped. Who? I think you already know. Sophia. The possibility hit me hard. Blackmail? That's what Eleanor told me. I sat back slowly. Nothing made sense. Yet somehow everything did. Sophia's fear. The lies. The disappearing explanations. The panic in her eyes. What kind of blackmail? I don't know yet. Can Eleanor prove it? Maybe. For the first time in months I felt something unexpected. Hope. Tiny. Fragile. Dangerous. But real. The next day Olivia arranged a meeting. Eleanor looked nervous from the moment she arrived. She kept checking the restaurant entrance. Relax, Olivia said. I can't. Eleanor's hands trembled. Marcus always finds out. I stared at her. Tell me the truth. She looked directly at me. What if the truth destroys you? Try me. She swallowed. Marcus has been controlling Sophia for a long time. How long? More than a year. My stomach tightened. Why? I don't know everything. Then tell me what you do know. Eleanor hesitated. Then she spoke. Marcus kept threatening her. The words hit like a hammer. Threatening. Not persuading. Not manipulating. Threatening. Before I could ask another question, another man entered the restaurant. Olivia stood. Good. You're here. I frowned. Who is this? The man extended his hand. Victor Lang. I shook it cautiously. Private investigator. Victor placed a small recorder on the table. I think it's time you heard something. I stared at the device. What is it? Victor pressed play. Marcus's voice filled the room. Cold. Come. Terrifying. If you disobey me again, Sophia, your secret becomes public. My blood turned to ice. Victor looked at me grimly. I have recordings like this going back more than a year. I listened to the recording 3 times. Each replay made me angrier. Marcus's voice was calm. Sophia's voice was terrified. When it ended, I looked at Victor. What secret was he talking about? Victor folded his arms. We finally found out yesterday. My chest tightened. What is it? Before Victor could answer, the restaurant door opened. Sophia walked in. She looked exhausted. The moment our eyes met, tears filled hers. Ethan. I didn't respond. She slowly sat across from me. I know you hate me. You think? I deserve that. Victor stood. We'll give you 2 privacy. Olivia and Eleanor followed him out. A heavy silence settled between us. Finally I spoke. Tell me the truth. Sophia nodded weakly. I will. No more lies. No more lies. I leaned forward. Start with Marcus. Her hands shook. He found out about Noah. I frowned. My brother-in-law? She nodded. Years ago Noah made a terrible mistake. What kind of mistake? He got involved with people he shouldn't have trusted. My stomach sank. Criminals? Yes. What happened? He cooperated with investigators later. I stared at her. And Marcus discovered this? Yes. Sophia looked down. He threatened to expose everything. Why would that matter now? Because Noah rebuilt his life. Her voice cracked. He has a family. Children. I remained silent. If the information became public, everything would collapse. So you sacrificed us. The words came out colder than I intended. Sophia flinched. I thought I could fix it. By pretending you weren't married? I was trying to protect my family. You humiliated me. Tears rolled down her cheeks. I know. You let the entire world think I was crazy. I know. You signed divorce papers. Her shoulders shook. I know. For several seconds neither of us spoke. Then she whispered, I never stopped loving you. The sentence hurt more than the lies. I laughed bitterly. Do you know what's funny? What? If you had told me the truth, I would have helped. She closed her eyes. I know. But you didn't trust me. I was scared. So was I. The words echoed between us. For years I had sacrificed everything. Late nights. Missed opportunities. Dreams I postponed for our future. Now I finally understood something. Love without trust eventually becomes pain. Sophia reached for my hand. Ethan, please. I pulled away. The movement seemed to break her. I'm sorry. I believe you. Her eyes widened. You do? Yes. Hope appeared on her face. Then I shook my head. But being sorry doesn't erase what happened. The hope vanished. I can fix this. No. Please. No, Sophia. I stood. For the first time since this nightmare began, my decision felt clear. I still loved her. That was the problem. But I loved myself too. And somewhere along the way I had forgotten that mattered. Ethan. I picked up my coat. Don't go. My heart ached. Yet I kept moving. Maybe one day I'll forgive you. Tears streamed down her face. Maybe? Maybe. She stood suddenly. Please don't leave me. Before I could answer, loud voices echoed from outside. The restaurant doors burst open. Several federal investigators entered. People gasped. Sophia froze. I turned toward the entrance. Marcus Hale had just walked in from a private meeting room. One investigator stepped forward. Marcus Hale, you're under arrest. The color drained from Marcus's face. As agents surrounded him, Sophia grabbed my arm desperately. Ethan. I looked at her. Please, she whispered. Don't leave me now. I looked at Sophia's hand gripping my arm. Then I gently pulled away. I need time. Her eyes filled with fresh tears. Ethan, please. I can't do this right now. Before she could answer, agents escorted Marcus through the restaurant. For the first time since I had met him, he looked afraid. People whispered. Some recorded videos. Others simply stared. The powerful man who once controlled everything suddenly looked very small. Over the following weeks, Marcus's empire collapsed. Every day brought another headline. Another investigation. Another accusation. One afternoon, Olivia called me. It's happening. What is? The hearings. I arrived just in time to watch Olivia testify. She answered every question clearly. Then Eleanor took the stand. Her testimony was even worse. She described secret accounts, illegal payments, blackmail operations, corporate fraud. The room fell silent more than once. Afterward, I met Olivia outside. You were brave. She smiled weakly. I was tired of being scared. Eleanor joined us. So was I. For the first time, both women looked relieved. The truth was finally winning. Meanwhile, Marcus's supporters disappeared. Business partners denied knowing him. Investors abandoned him. Friends stopped answering his calls. The same people who once praised him now acted like he never existed. Watching it happen felt strange. I expected satisfaction. Instead, I mostly felt exhausted. One evening, Daniel visited my office. The office looked different now. Not thriving. Not perfect. But alive. Daniel looked around and smiled. You're rebuilding. I'm trying. You've come a long way. I laughed. A few months ago I thought everything was over. And now? Now I think I'm surviving. Daniel nodded. That's enough for now. Slowly, new opportunities appeared. Former clients reached out. New investors called. The lies surrounding my reputation began disappearing. For the first time in months, I could breathe again. A week later, I visited Pastor Raymond. We sat outside the church as the sun began setting. I think I finally understand something, I told him. What is it? The bet. He smiled. Tell me. I thought faith meant God would protect me from suffering. And now? I stared into the distance. Now I think faith means surviving suffering without becoming someone ugly. Pastor Raymond nodded proudly. That's a lesson many people spend their entire lives learning. His words stayed with me. But one problem remained. Sophia. She kept calling. Sending messages. Asking to meet. Eventually I agreed. We sat across from each other in a quiet park. I miss you, she said softly. I didn't answer. I know I don't deserve another chance. No. Her eyes lowered. No, you don't. The The truth hurt both of us. Still she nodded. I understand. A long silence followed. Then she looked up again. My regret is real, Ethan. I know. I would do anything to change what happened. You can't. More tears appeared. Neither of us pretended otherwise. The damage was too deep. The trust was gone. Yet part of me still cared. That was what made everything difficult. As the evening grew darker, Sophia suddenly took a deep breath. There is one more thing. I frowned. What thing? Something changed in her expression. Fear, guilt, and sadness. The same emotions I had seen months ago. I never told you this because I was afraid. My stomach tightened. Afraid of what? She looked directly into my eyes. The truth. I felt my pulse quicken. What truth? Her voice barely rose above a whisper. The secret I hid from you didn't start with Marcus. I stared at Sophia. The secret didn't start with Marcus? She slowly nodded. No. Then start talking. Sophia took a shaky breath. Years ago, before we got married, I overheard you praying. My chest tightened. What prayer? The one about your bet with God. I froze. The memory returned immediately. A desperate night. A desperate promise. If I stay faithful through every trial, give me a life worth fighting for. Sophia lowered her eyes. I never forgot those words. I sat quietly. She continued. I wanted that future too. What does that have to do with everything that happened? More than you realize. I waited. When our lives started improving, I became terrified of losing it all. Her voice trembled. I thought if I controlled every problem, I could protect our future. I shook my head slowly. So you started hiding things? Yes. You stopped trusting me? Yes. You convinced yourself lies were protection. Tears rolled down her face. Yes. For a moment neither of us spoke. Then I finally understood something. Marcus had been the spark. But fear had been the fire. Sophia's fear. My own fear. The fear of losing what we loved. I wish I had told you the truth, she whispered. So do I. She looked at me hopefully. Can we start over? The question hurt. Not because I hated her. Because part of me still loved her. But love wasn't enough. Not anymore. I gently shook my head. I'm sorry. The hope disappeared from her eyes. I watched her heart break. Just as she had once watched mine. Weeks later, Marcus accepted a plea agreement. His fortune vanished. His reputation vanished. His power vanished. The empire he built through fear collapsed completely. Karma had finally arrived. Not because I chased revenge. Because the truth caught up with him. As for Sophia, she moved forward carrying regret that no apology could erase. We spoke occasionally. Kindly. Respectfully. But never as husband and wife again. Some things can heal. Others leave scars forever. My own life slowly improved. The business recovered. My friendships grew stronger. Most importantly, I respected myself again. One quiet afternoon, I visited my mother's grave. I placed flowers beside the stone. Then I smiled sadly. You were right, Mom. The wind moved softly through the trees. For a moment, it felt like she was listening. I thought the bet was about winning. I laughed quietly. It wasn't. The answer finally seemed obvious. The bet had never been about receiving a perfect life. It had never been about avoiding betrayal. It had never been about getting everything I wanted. The real test was whether I could keep my integrity when life became unfair. Whether I could remain honest when others lied. Whether I could choose peace when revenge felt easier. Standing there, I finally understood. I had not lost God's bet. I had simply misunderstood its price. And for the first time in a very long time, I walked away feeling free.